Wichita, Kansas. During that first violent summer, Wyatt had grabbed the town by the tail and held it on the ground, while hundreds of armed and defiant cowboys from the cattle trails tried to keep it on the prod. But even though Wichita had learned to keep its hair slicked, Wyatt still liked to spend his mornings near the cattle pens, watching what might have drifted in overnight.
Hey, you, seen old man culling around lately?
No, and it ain't like him either. All summer long he's been meeting his herd. Always here to beat me for the best price. And getting it, too. Well, after all, he's my best customer.
You might as well be honest about it, Mr. Santel. Cattle kings don't come any tougher than old man Cullen. Good morning, Brad. Where's your father?
He's selling a herd to the Army over at Dodge. He'll be back in a few days. Does anybody know Mr. Santel?
I'm Santel, boy. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm Brad Cullen. I'm trail boss of that herd there. I'd like to talk some business.
You?
Yeah, that's right, me.
One of Cullen's sons. He's got authorization to sell the herd. Why doubt him?
Well, no offense, kid, but I just couldn't imagine your old man letting anyone handle a sale for him. Am I forgiven?
Guess you want to ride into town, get washed up.
Well, after I talk business.
You fellas go ahead. I'll ride back with you when you get all done.
How many?
500.
Looks closer to 4.
No, I said 500.
The lame and the blind ones,
Hey, what's that?
They've come a long way over grazed out lands and dried streams. I wouldn't call them prime beef.
Now, I'm offering you 500 prime beeves at 20 a head.
The market's glutted. Prices dropped to $10 a head. You can take it or leave it.
Now, look, mister, are you trying to take advantage of me? Because if you are...
Your old man will come gunning for me, Look, kid, your pappy don't scare me one bit. At least, so long as Wyatt Earp's close by somewhere to help me out.
I don't happen to be so lucky.
Oh. All right. Seeing as it's Cullen beef I'm buying, I'll make it 15.
Well, it's gotta be 20.
Believe me, kid, I'm not bluffing and I'm not gouging. Buying season's over. I'm being as generous as I can, and I'm doing it for you, not for that great hard rock who happens to be your old man.
Give me an hour to think it over?
An hour to see some other brokers? Sure. You won't get a cent over 10. I tell you what I'll do. I'll give you 3 hours.
All ready? How'd you make out with Mr. Santel?
He said the price is down.
That's true.
Oh, then I'm in for it. If I sell the herd short, Papa like they kill me. If I don't, he'll rag me and hound me till I feel like killing him. He can be a miserable man over money.
How old are you, Brad?
Going on 19.
Got you that buffalo. Why don't you just pack up and get out like your older brothers did?
Well, I'm the only one left. It's just me and Ma. I guess I'm the reason that she's staying around.
She asking you to?
Well...
Now you're fooling yourself. You're afraid of your old man, that's all that's troubled you. You're still a kid.
All right, I'll admit it. So I'm a kid. Okay, suppose I have your advice, Mr. Earp. What would you do if you were me?
Well, if I was you, I'd go into town, get myself a square meal, and I'd make up my mind and stand pat in my decision.
Oh, just as simple as that, huh?
Yep. Make up your mind to something. Being a man is just that simple. Come on, we'll go into town. you make out? Made up your mind?
Yep.
That's a heavy piece of paper to be carrying around all by yourself. Better ride out to your camp on Cowskin Creek, where you'll be among friends.
What's the matter? Aren't you my friend?
Well, that goes without saying, Brad, but that stuff's not. You, want me to hang on to it for you?
You know, the more you talk, the more you sound like my old man. The more you sound like him, the less I like you. Now, you just go ahead with your business. I'll take care of mine.
Okay, Brad. I guess you're the boss. I'll see you around.
Cards, please. 3 to you. 3, please.
1.
2 to the dealer. Wyatt.
Thanks. How long's that been going on?
Started a couple of hours ago, right after you left.
Has he been buying?
No. Them's his original chips. For a kid, he's doing real good. Your bet.
I call.
50 better than you, mister.
I can't.
You took 1 card, I believe, didn't you, son?
You're supposed to follow the play, mister, not ask questions.
The young man raised you 50. Either put up or drop out.
You're too young to bluff, kid. But in case you are, I'm willing to pay to teach you not to. What have you got? Heart flush. You lose. Jack's full. Very nice. And I'll call. Sevens and 4s, you win.
Where's you care to join me for a drink, mister? Huh?
No, thanks. How'd you come out?
I came out with nothing but my name, Mr. Earp, sir.
And you lost the whole check, $7,500?
Yep. But I admit to that with a certain pardonable pride.
What'd you figure you'd do? Get lucky and run that check up to what your father expected?
Yeah.
And you would have lied to him and told him you got more for the herd than you really did, is that it?
No.
You're even more scared of the old man than I thought. Well, now what do you tell him?
The truth. Just tell the truth.
In other words, you'd rather admit to being a bad gambler than a bad businessman, is that it?
Well, that's about it, Mr. Earp. Bad luck is all can happen to anybody. But a bad business deal, well, that's stupid, unforgivable. Don't you ever darken my door again, son. Ah.
You better face up to it, Brad. You're Father isn't going to believe that gambling story any more than I do. You played for a sucker.
A sucker?
That's right, sucker. Even though your father'd rather admit to a bad business deal than being played for a sucker by two tin horns.
What are you talking about?
Those two gamblers, they play it like a partnership. If either one of them gets a good hand, they bet it up. If you get a good hand, they fold. Their winnings are big, yours are small. Percentage-wise, they get all the edge. Even you ought to be able to see who's going to come out the winner.
You mean they work together, they split afterwards?
Right.
They... Well, that means I've been robbed. Well, what are you going to do to get back my money?
Nothing. Foster and his friend didn't break any laws. I got no legal grounds to make an arrest.
But what they did was wrong, and you know it.
The whiskey's gone to your head. You better go back to Cowskin Camp where you can sleep it off. Come on, I'll take you there myself.
You're a coward, Mr. Herb. You're a protector of cheats and robbers. You're a big man with the 6-gun, too, aren't you? Well, would you just show me how good you are? Huh?
Well, that's not a very smart play, Brad. Throwing down on a man with a gun you're not used to. Now, let me have it. Come on. Come on, straighten up like a man.
Take a look at Brad, boys. He sure tied one on.
Yeah, and that ain't all. I was robbed, cheated, beaten up, and thrown in jail.
Robbed?
Yeah, that's right. Robbed, I was cleaned out. They took the check, the payroll, the money, everything.
Didn't you go to the law?
Of course I did. And I'm the one that gets thrown in jail. I'm going to put it to you straight. I'm for going back into town and getting what's mine. And yours. But I need help. Anybody want to volunteer?
My mammy always told me the good Lord helps those that help themselves. I'm with you, kid.
Always did want a chance to tree Wichita. Count me in, too.
Okay.
All right, we'll all join.
All right. Okay, come on, let's go then. Come on. They're still here. Everyone keep their hands on the table. This is not a holdup. I was cheated at cards last night by these two men. All I want is the money I lost. Give me my check, mister.
Well, I don't have it here, son. It's locked up in the house safe in the back room.
Well, get in cash. $7,500.
I don't have that much on me.
You get it, Foster. I'm telling you, you get it from the other tables. I want $7,500 or I'm going to kill you.
That's $2,000, Mac. Consider it a loan. How much you got, Hal?
Let's see. Here's 5.
This will make up the rest of it.
Make it quick, gambler, or you'll lose some of them clever fingers.
There you are. gonna let him get away with this?
The charge is armed robbery. Is that right, Mr. Foster?
Armed robbery, attempted murder. Mr. Havisham was seriously wounded, you know.
There's no need to be so self-righteous, Mr. Foster. Your neck's not as clean as it could be either, you know. You cheated that kid the same as if you'd stacked the deck.
If you think I've done anything illegal, why don't you arrest me?
Well, sometimes there's a better way to take care of men like you.
What are you up to, Earp?
Well, I'll tell you this much, Mr. Foster. I'll arrest Brad Cullen and his punches as your request and bring him to trial. But by the time this is over, the whole town will know how you and your friend operate. I may not be able to touch you legally, but the average citizen still has a sense of fair play.
These warrants are ready to sign, Mr. Foster. Right on this line, please. How many more men will we need, Wyatt?
I'll make the arrest myself.
You can't go into that cow camp alone.
Well, I'll tell you, Sam. Brad Cullen and his men aren't hardened criminals. The best way to handle a thing like this is to treat it like a family quarrel. All right, Mr. Foster. Let me have the warrants.
It'd be mighty convenient if one of Brad's cowboys dropped him, wouldn't it?
Are you out of your mind, Foster?
No, but I'm thinking about who'd be getting blamed if Earp was found dead between here and Cullen's ranch. We made it. He's still a couple of miles from camp. Between us, we'll get him.
Says. If Earp didn't want us alive to make a point, he'd drop us here.
We'll do what you say. When you get to Wichita, keep on going.
Hey, Brad.
Who is that, son? That's, Wyatt Earp. You stay where you are. I'll talk to him.
Morning, Mr. Cullen.
Morning, Wyatt.
See, you got here a little ahead of time.
An hour ago. We're, just about to pack and head south. What's on your mind, Wyatt?
I got warrants for the arrest of Bradshaw Cullen and 6 John Does for the cowhands who helped him hold up the Texas house this morning.
Why, he was just taking back the money that he'd been robbed of.
Seeing as how the law wouldn't give him a helping hand.
How did Brad tell you he lost some money in the first place?
Well, he had a few drinks, played some poker. He said he lost quite a sum of money before he found he was being cheated. He said you wouldn't even listen to him. You're not arresting anyone from this camp, Wyatt.
I'm arresting your son and 6 cowhands, Mr. Cullen. Now get out of my way. Brad, tell him the truth. You'll never get another chance like this one.
What's he talking about, son?
Yeah, he's just stalling, Pop. You watch him now.
Your son's a liar, Mr. Cullen.
Get him, Brad, get him! You ought to drop, you fool. Why don't you shoot?
He couldn't shoot me last night when he was drunk, and he can't shoot me now when he's sober. Because he knows he's wrong. It's hard to kill a man when you're wrong, isn't it?
Thanks. Pop? I lied, Pop. I sold the herd short of what you wanted and tried to make it up gambling. The rest is like I told you.
You sold the herd?
That's right. The funny thing is, I'm not afraid to admit it. Not now. Not anymore. I was a coward, a liar, and a thief. I was all that just to please you.
What kind of a son are you? What are you talking about?
You'll never do this to me again, Pop. I'm not coming home anymore. Mr. Earp, I'll go saddle me up a horse and then we can go. Now, you don't have to take the other boys in. They didn't know the truth. I'm the only one you want.
I don't understand, Wyatt. My sons. 3 of them now. Gone. I work my fingers to the bone to give them a future. And they leave. Tell me why, Wyatt. I don't understand.
I guess that's been the trouble, Mr. Cullen. There comes a time when a young fella has to move out. Learn to be somebody all by himself. I guess you just never learned when to let go. Where's Foster and his friend?
They rode out for Dodge early this morning. I left this for you. It's that check of young Collins. He said they wouldn't hold any charges against them if you'd return their money. And they wish you to return the compliment and leave them alone if you ever meet up with them again. Left their forwarding address on the back.
Huh? Thank you, Judge.
Wait, I'll have one with you.
Mr. Wilkins? 3 cents, jackknife, and a watch. Is that right?
That's right.
Sign that receipt.
Boy, you can sure give a man a hangover with that gun barrel of yours.
Well, that's better than being shot, isn't it?
Yeah, I reckon. Thank you, Marshal.
And don't come back.
Don't worry. I won't.
Mr. James, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a dime. Rabbit's foot and a comb. Sign it. Mr. Clements, 20, 40, 60, 80, 110, and 12 cents. Well, looks like you didn't spend much, Mr. Clements. You're lucky.
Sure. Real lucky. Spending my vacation in this hole.
Oh, it's not too bad. Food's pretty good.
Listen to me, Earp. You made a monkey out of me, and I'll be back. And I'm not coming alone, either. My brothers will be with me, and you'll wish you'd never seen me.
Clements, you made a monkey out of yourself. You didn't check your guns, and you had plenty of time to do it. Now, as for your brothers, I took care of Mannon, and I'll be very happy to meet the rest of them.
I'll tell them.
Yeah, you do that. Now, here's your gun. But I don't want you to load it or put it on until you get in the outskirts of town.
You're throwing me out of town, huh?
That's right. When you cool off, you can come back in town if you want to. But remember to check that. Come here. Sign your receipt.
Like I said, I'll be back.
I'll be here. Clements. You slam that door and I'll throw you back in the cell.
That young Clements is going to turn out even worse than his brothers, if he lives long enough.
His pride's hurt, that's all. He'll get over it.
Marshal, there's a funny-looking dude over at the Wichita. Says he wants to see you.
A dude?
Yeah, and packing the biggest gun I ever saw. You ought to see the size of it.
Yeah, I guess I ought to. Sam, check those out for me, will you?
Yes, sir.
I'll be back in a little while.
So Earp came from Ellsworth to Wichita several months ago, huh?
Yep.
Well, why'd he leave Ellsworth? They run him out?
Yep. I insulted him, so he left. He's very sensitive.
Now, never mind the sarcasm. I just want the facts, Doctor. I want to know everything there is to know about Wyatt Earp. Well, now what's the matter?
Nothing. I was just wondering if you'd fit a regular-sized coffin or if I should have one specially made to order. A little wider across the beam.
Now, you stop talking like that, or...
Or what?
Or you stop drinking out of my bottle. Now, you ready to answer my questions?
All right. I'll answer all I can.
Well, now, how many men did he kill?
Who?
Well, who do you think? Wyatt Earp.
Oh, him. None? None as far as I know.
All right. None? Well, what kind of a frontier marshal is that?
I think I'd better let the marshal himself answer you on that one.
Are you Wyatt Earp?
Yes, sir.
Well, I've come a long way to meet you. My name is Buntline, Ned Buntline. You heard of me, of course.
I don't think I have, Mr. Buntline.
Oh, you must have. I write dime novels about the West. I've written hundreds of them. What's the matter, you people out here? Don't you read?
Well, I was just about to ask you the same question. Can you?
Well, Sir, you are addressing a man whose command of English is the envy of...
A simple no or yes will be sufficient, Mr. Buntline.
Well, of course I read, you idiot.
Then you're under arrest.
Under arrest? What for?
For that.
Huh? For what? Oh, I'm a little nearsighted. I can't see a thing. Oh. I beg your pardon, Marshal.
If you don't mind.
This isn't loaded.
Well, the law makes no distinction between loaded and unloaded guns, Mr. Buntline.
It isn't even mine. Just read the inscription on it.
What's this all about?
It's a gratuity, Mr. Earp. It's a small token of my admiration for you as the most stalwart of the... It's not true that you haven't killed anybody here in Wichita, is it? Oh, it doesn't make a difference. People will never believe that. They'll believe what I tell them to believe. Marshal, this is your lucky day.
Mr. Buntline, I think you've been drinking a
Well,
little too
of
much.
course I have. That's what saloon's for, isn't it?
Well, I think you better come along with me.
Well, I certainly will. That's what I've traveled 2,000 miles to do. Mr. Earp, you are one of the... I've undergone a great many inconveniences to make this trip. I left my favorite razor back in Boston. I forgot it. And now I can't shave until I get back home.
Why not?
Because I'm sensitive.
Oh.
And believe me, sir, I didn't leave a luxurious home in New England just for the trip. I came here for one purpose, and one purpose only, to see Marshal Wyatt Earp of Wichita and to offer him fame and wealth beyond his wildest dreams.
Mr. Buntline, I still haven't the slightest idea what you're talking about.
Well, now, surely the thought of fabulous wealth, complete financial independence, surely that's a thought worth exploring, is it not?
Go ahead and explore it.
Smoke, gentlemen. They're specially made. Cost more than $1 each.
No, thanks.
Are the windows open? I'll take one.
Mr. Earp, have you ever heard of a man named William F. Cody?
Buffalo Bill? Sure.
Do you know who made Buffalo Bill? Do you know who changed him from a nondescript, practically penniless hunter into an international figure of fame?
No.
Do you know?
You know this isn't a bad cigar. Thank you.
Do you know who made Buffalo Bill the idol of every female in America? Do you know who enabled him to earn 50,000 American dollars in less than 1 year's time?
No, who?
Me, Ned Buntline.
It figures.
And I can do the same thing for you. Now think of it. Your name up on the banners, just like Buffalo Bill's. Ned Buntline presents his Wild West show, featuring in person Wyatt Earp, the great frontier marshal. How does that sound to you?
It sounds ridiculous.
What? Well, maybe I haven't made myself clear. All you'd have to do would be to...
All I'd have to do is stand up on a stage and make a fool of myself, get all dressed up in fancy clothes, and smile at 1,000 staring faces.
Oh, you make yourself very clear.
Now, just a moment, Marshal. Don't... I warn you that...
I'm the one that does the warning around here. Now, you get out and stay out. Go on to back where you came from.
Well, you can't
Come on,
talk to
just
me
get
like
out.
that. I'm not...
Wyatt. You took the fella too serious. He was only trying to make you filthy rich.
Filthy is the word.
Sit down. I want to give you some advice. Oh, I know you never listen to any of it. But will you please sit down now? Please listen to me.
All right.
Wyatt, each man has to decide what he will do or won't do for money. But I hated to see you passing judgment on Buntline.
I didn't do that.
A plain no is enough. Instead, you throw him out. That's passing judgment.
I guess I did lose my temper.
Buntline can claim respect on a good many counts. I'd say offhand that he's made about 1 million children happy. Don't you add that to his favor?
Yeah. All right. I was wrong. I'll apologize to him.
Good. Oh, and another thing. He went to considerable trouble and expense to have this thing specially made for you. Now, the least you can do is try it out for him.
Maybe I will.
Look at that. I wonder what it is.
Well, good morning, gentlemen.
He's alive. It talks.
Come on, let's go to town. We got things to do.
Now, wait a minute, kid. That'll keep. That's one thing you gotta learn. Never pass up fun when you find it. Life's too short.
What do you mean? What do you mean, fun?
Fun. Say, you know, that's a real fancy outfit you've got on. That.
Well, thank you very much.
It's a nice.
Yeah, no, stop it, will you?
Say, wait a minute, mister. There's one thing you gotta learn about this country. Don't insult people who are trying to make friends with you.
Well, I didn't insult you. I'm. Will you have a cigar?
Well, you're a dude smuggler, huh? You're in trouble.
Oh, I'm no. Hey, now, cut it out, you men, will you? Now, I warn you, you'll regret it.
You don't say.
Yes, I do say. I don't think the marshal would like to see his friends mistreated.
The marshal, huh? You friend of the marshal?
Wyatt?
Yeah.
Well, I should say I am. He's practically a partner of mine. Now, I tell you, let's just forget this, and I won't say anything. I've got a sense of humor.
Well, it's a good thing you have. Yeah, you're going to need it where you're going. You're coming with us.
Yeah, oh, no, I'm not.
Shut up. You're coming with us.
Well, I guess I am.
Marshal, that Wild Clements kid is back here looking for you with one of his brothers.
Oh, they checked their guns?
No.
Where are they?
Sitting on their horses right up the street. And listen, Marshal, you know that noisy tenderfoot that was here yesterday? Buntline?
Yeah?
Well, he's with him.
You sure?
Positive.
That's close enough, Marshal.
Mr. Buntline, you're in bad company.
None of my choosing.
Shut up.
Herb, I told you I was coming back.
Chip, you surprised me. I figured you'd raise your kid brother to fight his own battles.
I did. I just come along to see it was a fair fight. That don't mean no shotgun against a 6-gun. It's gonna take some mighty fancy scattergun shooting to miss your dude friend here.
Hell, I've never had to kill anyone yet. I'd hate to have you be the first.
It's going to be you or me. You can make up your mind to that.
I'm sorry, boy.
Never mind being sorry. Just get rid of that shotgun. Then you and the kid can shoot it out alone with 6 guns.
What about you?
You know me better than that. I'm not butting in if it's a fair fight.
All right, Hal, you got yourself a shootout. I'll be right back.
He's yellow.
No, he ain't. He says he'll be back, he'll be back. You just better be fast today, kid.
Don't worry about it. I can beat him.
Yeah, I reckon you can at that. Matter of fact, I'd be willing to make a bet on it if I could find somebody to bet with.
You stay here. All right, Hal, get off your horse.
You said something about a wager, Mr. Clemens. I'd like to bet $100 on the marshal.
You get yourself a bet.
All right, hold it right there. Now make your play.
You're crazy. You can't hit anything from there.
I can hit you. Now draw.
What's that?
That is a bunt line special.
Come on, now, just a minute.
Sam, come on over here and break that up.
Well, you had your shootout, Hal. You're still alive, I'm glad.
You really are.
Yeah. I'll go on to the jail.
Yeah.
You're a mighty excitable little man, Mr. Buntline.
And you're a coward, Mr. Clemens.
Hold it!
You talk about fair fights. You were going to use that rifle on the marshal.
Oh, it might have looked that way to you, but...
Are you staying in town? If you are, check your gun now.
No, I'm not staying.
Mr. Clemens, you owe me money.
You're right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I wasn't going to use this rifle on the marshal.
Yes, well, I say you were.
Well, I say I wasn't.
Yeah. All right. You were. Gentlemen, the drinks are on me.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Not till you get that patched up.
Well, we can patch and drink.
You come on over to my place.
I'll see you at the Texas house.
There you are, Mr. Buntline. I'm sure you won't have any complications now. Just wear that for a couple of days.
Yeah, well, I may wear that a little bit longer.
How's your jaw feel?
Well, it's still a little sore, but nothing to affect my drinking.
Would you like a little nip?
You're the doctor.
Well, I prescribed a little spot of elixir.
All right.
I call this Plu's Spaventure. I'm sure you like it.
Good.
It'll take the wrinkles out of your jaw and out of your head. Hold her now. There we go. A little toast.
Huh?
To your health, Mr. Buntline, and to your courage.
Oh, Doc, well, thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much.
If I was a drinking man, I'd join the doc in that toast.
Well, that's very kind of you to say that, Marshal. Good. So you like the special, huh?
Yes, sir, I sure do. It's a fine weapon.
Good, good. Sit down, Marshal.
Well, thank you. There are a couple of things I'd like to say to you. First, I want to tell you how much I appreciate your action on the street today. You're a very brave man.
Well, I never did anything like it before. You know, Marshal, I think there's something about your part of the country that gives men courage when they need it.
An interesting observation, Mr. Buntline, and very possibly true.
There's something else. I owe you an apology. I hope you'll accept it.
An apology? What for?
For treating you the way I did yesterday. I had no right to be angered by your business proposition. I'm sorry.
Does that mean you accept it?
No, sir. I've thought it over, and, well, I decided against it. I thank you just the same.
Well, I wish you'd tell me why.
Well, I'll try to answer that. I guess it's because I like the frontier. I like the people. I admire and respect them. Even the bad ones sometimes.
I think I know what you mean. Those Clemens brothers, for instance. No matter what else they are, they're still strong men.
Yeah. It takes a certain kind of man to make the West. It always has. I guess I just wouldn't be happy in any of the surroundings, Mr. Buntline. No matter how much money I could make elsewhere.
Well, we'd have cleaned up, you and I. Well, I tried anyway. Believe me, the trip was well worth it.
About this gun.
Now, that gun is yours.
Well, I'd like to keep it, Mr. Buntline, but I can't accept it as a gift. I'll buy it from you. Regulation Colt's worth about $60 new. I figure this is worth about $100. Will that be all right, Mr. Buntline?
It will not. Now, look, I'll make more than 100 times what that cost with my eyewitness account of the hair-raising, breathtaking six-gun duel in the dusty, silent, sun-baked streets of Wichita, Kansas, at 10 cents a copy.
All right, Mr. Buntline. I accept it with thanks. Saved a life today. Might have been my own.
Marshal, all I can say is Wear it in good health.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I better get back to Boston and get a shave. Goodbye, Doctor.
Bye.
Yeah. Marshal Earp.
Goodbye, Mr. Butler. You have a good trip now.
Yeah, thank you.
20 months, Wyatt Earp, as Marshal of Wichita, Kansas, had managed to stay clear of feminine entanglement. This took some doing, since numerous young women set their caps for the handsome Mr. Earp. But Miss Mamie Perkins, a church organist, had that mysterious charm which appealed mightily to Marshal Earp, and almost succeeded in proving the frontier adage which stated, "For most men, women are slow, but to a peace officer, they can be quick death."
And stay inside the city limits. Don't cross the city limits, boys. I don't aim having any trouble with Earp. All right, Kennerly, come on out and face the music. Go on back to camp. I don't want to have to shoot any more of you. Let's get him now, Fogg. No, wait a minute. You can't hide in Wichita forever, George. And when you do come out, we'll be watching every road. I ain't riding with the Fogg McMurray crowd no more. If you want to go on living, Fogg, you and the boys better hit the trail. Now get going. We got him holed up. When he does come out, we'll kill him. And that'll keep Earp and his deputies from getting after us. Let's get back to camp. Come on.
I missed you in church this morning.
I had a little trouble down at Denver Jones's.
Oh, I was wondering about the guns. Was anybody hurt?
No.
Now just look, I walked all the way downtown with you.
Exercise is good for you, Miss Mamie.
No, but I should be home helping Mama fix Sunday dinner.
Now, how come you spend so much time on me? Is there something you need my help to handle? A favor you want to ask me?
Certainly not. How can you think so cynically of me?
Miss Mamie, I am a little bit in love with you.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. If something's worrying you, why don't you tell me? Maybe I can help you.
You're sweet. And I'm just a wretched little fraud.
Miss Mamie.
No, just try and forgive me.
Wyatt, can I talk to you a minute?
Huh?
Can I talk to you a minute?
Yeah. Well, what's up?
I've been worried about you.
Oh, please, no brotherly lectures, huh?
Can't we just call it brotherly advice?
Sit down.
I've lived in Wichita a long time. I know Mamie Perkins and her folks.
Look, it's not that serious.
Yes, it is. I wish you'd stop seeing her, Wyatt.
Why?
I can't tell you. It wouldn't be fair to Mamie. Perhaps what happened a couple of years ago is over and done with.
What are you trying to tell me?
It's nothing disgraceful. She's a real fine girl. It's just that, well, if you've made up your mind to marry her and she's willing, no problem. You have my blessings. Is that the way it's going to turn out?
Mamie's not in love with me.
And I'm right.
There's another man. Is that what you're trying to say? Well, come on, tell me.
I'm Marsh Murdoch, a newspaper man, remember?
Now, what's that got to do with the price of apples?
Well, I'm something like a lawyer, a doctor. I'm told things in confidence that I can't repeat. Not even to my best friend.
Oh.
All I ask is that you stop seeing Mamie. I think it's good advice.
Well, I think it's good advice, too. But I can't take it.
You mean you still hope that she might change her mind?
No. But I'm still fond of Mamie, and she's in some kind of trouble. And seeing as you won't tell me what it is, I'm going to keep on trying to persuade her to tell me.
That's plain blind stubbornness.
You're right.
Where's your pride? The whole town's whispering about you and Mamie.
Well, tell them not to whisper. They should speak up.
No, now look, Wyatt, you could marry a half a dozen girls just as pretty. Several of them are ready to fall in love with you for keeps.
Really think so?
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, right now, I'm interested in Mamie.
All right, be stubborn. You're the one who'll get hurt. You ought to have that thick skull cracked open. Your brain needs air or something.
Howdy, Uncle Tad.
Why, George, bless my soul.
You old rascal, you don't look a day older.
Oh, quit blarneying me. Where you been keeping yourself, George?
Oh, I've been batting around. Say, fix me up with a room, huh? Boy, I'm thirsty. I'm hitting for the bar.
Wait a second, son. You gotta check your guns on the rack yonder. Marshal Earp is very strict.
I heard about him. He's been trying to cut me out with Mamie Perkins, ain't he?
Well,
No, now, it's no secret, Uncle Tad. Man told me up at Fog McMurray's cattle camp about a week ago. I figured it was time I was getting back to Wichita.
Fog McMurray? You ain't been riding with him.
Oh, now, shh. Had a little argument with Fog about me quitting his outfit. So I had to slap him around a little. I'm really dry, Uncle Tad. See you later.
Hold on, Callahan.
Huh? Who are you?
It's Marshal Earp, George.
There's the rack. Take off your guns.
So you're Wyatt Earp. Well, you're a mighty good-looking fella. I can see how Mamie might kind of forget.
Oh, you're a friend of Mamie's, huh?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sore at you. They tell me you're trying to cut me out with Mamie.
Now, George.
You know, I got a good mind to gun you.
Try it.
Okay. Hey, man, you're fast.
Now, I'm buckling.
Sure. I ain't stupid. Are you any good with your fists, Earp?
Yes, he is. Now, George, you go on in the bar and have your drink. George is one of our hometown boys, Mr. Earp. He's been away from Wichita a couple of years. No use for you to quarrel with the marshal.
Well, Earp's too fast for me to gun him, Uncle Tad. I gotta teach him a lesson somehow. Hey, how about taking off your guns and stepping out and back?
Be glad to.
Oh, George, you never did have good judgment.
What would Mamie think of me if I didn't fight for her? You know, a woman wants a man to be brave, Uncle Tad. Besides, I'm as big as he is, and I weigh more.
Anytime.
My name's Kennerly. They call me Big George. Now, I gotta teach you to stay away from Mamie. But I'd feel better if we shook hands.
No. Come on.
Well, now he's sore. What right has he got to be sore?
You tried to pull a gun on him.
Well, he tried to steal my girl. That ain't any reason for us hating each other. Oh, say, call a doctor, will you, Uncle Tad? Now, no expense to the hotel. I'll pay for checking on him after the fight.
Oh, George. George.
Man, you sure can fight.
Rest yourself a while.
Oh, come on.
Stop it! Stop! Oh, George! Oh, my darling!
Hi, Mamie.
Oh, George, you're all bloody. Oh, you big brute. You just did this because you're jealous of him. George, honey, I love you, and I waited and waited for you to come home.
No, it's all right, Mamie. Well, I gotta get up and fight now.
Oh, no, I won't let you. Let me in. I'll give him a good
No,
punch
Mamie, you
myself.
can't do that. You can't do that. He can't hit you back.
Let me punch him.
No, no, Mamie. All right. I'm licked. I give up.
All right.
Mamie, you shouldn't have said all those things to Earp. I'm the one that started the fight. And boy, he sure did accommodate me.
Who's dead?
Nobody.
Skin your knuckles. Who you been fighting?
Big George Kennerly.
Marshal Earp didn't hurt him much, Doc. He's out there now talking to Mamie Perkins.
Big George, huh? So that young idiot came back to town. He quit riding with Fog McMurray, huh?
Says he did.
Oh. Wyatt, you and I better have a conversation.
About what?
The impending decease of Big George Kennerly. Walk back to the office with me. No, this way. I came in through the bar, I go out through the bar. Superstitious. That's what you get for sparking around Mamie Perkins. Big George may think he quit Fog McMurray's gang, but nobody quits him.
Fog's just a dirty cattle rustler, you know that.
A road agent and a crazy killing fool. Well, you gonna let George get killed?
I don't care what happens to him. He wants to turn rustler, that's his business, not mine. Now, why didn't you and Mr. Murdoch tell me that girl was in love with George? Fine, loyal friends you are. You never said a word.
Well, we was hoping.
Hoping what?
Well, we was hoping that Mamie would fall out of love with George and lead you into the bondage of matrimony. She sure missed the boat on that one. As a matter of fact, I had a $5 bet even that she'd get you roped.
It wasn't ever that close.
Oh, now, Wyatt, it was that close.
Well, it's over now.
Are you going to let Fog McMurray and his boys cut George down?
Now, they won't come into Wichita.
No, that's true. They're just probably laying outside of town, waiting for him. But that's no concern of yours.
No, it isn't. My authority ends at the city limits. Furthermore, I don't care even
George, just tell me the truth. There's a lot of bad men after him. Oh, Mr. Earp, can't you help him?
Look, I got my house calls to make.
Oh, wait a minute, Doc.
Now, you just shut the door when you're through talking.
Wait a minute!
I know I did wrong, Mr. Earp. I should have explained to you about George.
Yep.
I thought I was over it. I didn't know if he'd ever come back.
Well, Miss Mamie, he sure come back.
In trouble, though. Because he wants nothing more to do with those men. Because he wants to quit his wild and foolish ways and settle down.
He wants to reform, huh?
Oh, yes, he does. If you help him. I know we haven't any right to ask it. First thing George did was pick a fight with you, and when I think of what I did. But I haven't any pride, and I'm scared. Look, George doesn't know I came here, but you're the only one who can help us.
I don't know why I should, do you?
Well, yes. Because you're you.
That makes a lot of sense. I'll see what I can do.
I'm so glad you didn't really fall in love with me. I'd never have been good enough.
Go ahead and blarney me a little bit. I like it. All right, where's George?
At the hotel, I put arsenic on his face.
Yeah. You ask him to do you a great personal favor. You ask him not to leave the hotel room, not to go out in the street. You understand?
Yes, of course.
I'll try to locate the men he had the row with first thing in the morning. I think I got a plan to get him out of town.
Isn't it just money they want? I mean, if it's
Well, I won't know until I talk to him. Now, you get him to promise you to stay in that hotel room. It's important.
Well, he'll stay there until we hear from you. And I can't thank you. I haven't the words to try.
Wait a minute.
Howdy, boys. Where can I find Fog McMurray?
Hold it.
Now, drop your guns. Now, where can I find Fog?
He's up at the North Road.
Thank you, gentlemen.
McMurray? Yeah, I'm McMurray.
Good morning.
You're kind of off limits, ain't you, Johnny Law?
My name's Wyatt Earp, and this is a social visit.
Oh, so you're Earp, huh? You're the one Big George had the fight with in town last night. Here you kind of took care of him. Well, he deserved it. Plugged a couple of my boys and pushed me around. Of course, I wasn't wearing a gun at the time. What can we do for you, sir?
Well, I
Notice that you got all the roads out of Wichita posted.
We're waiting for Big George to come out.
You really don't like him, huh?
If he does come out, he's apt to be dead.
Isn't there any way that he can settle his beef with you?
No, not at all.
That's too bad. I was hoping to get rid of him.
Well, that's simple. Just chase him out and let him pick his own road.
Oh, well, that's going to be a bit of a problem. You see, well, Big George tried to gun me last night. And, of course, he's awful slow in the draw, but well, he's liable to try it again.
Oh, so that's what's worrying you, huh?
Yes, sir. You see, well, I haven't ever had to kill a man yet, and, of course, I've wounded quite a few of them, but well, I sure hate the idea of having to kill a man.
I never heard that before. Here's a Johnny Law that's scared he's gonna have to kill Big George. But, son, it don't amount to nothing.
Oh, well, it does in my business, Mr. McMurray. Well, you see, well, I've set a record that the town is mighty proud of, and, well, they expect me to hold to it. And if I was to, well, tangle with Big George in a gunfight, and if he was to die, why, well, there'd be a coroner's hearing and a trial by the city council, and you're determined to keep him bottled up, huh?
More than ever. Looks like you're taking a nasty job off our hands.
Well, not if I can help it, sir. No, sir. I'm going to try and run Big George out.
He runs Big George out, he's gonna have to kill him. So just take it easy, boys.
Good morning.
Wyatt, where you been? You had me kind of worried, boy.
You better have a little talk in your room.
Okay. Well, never could beat you playing checkers, Uncle Tad. Hey, listen, see, I checked in my guns and I'm in a real good humor.
Well, Fogg McMurray is not in a good humor.
Oh, shucks, now, you shouldn't have gone to all that trouble for me. Well, that's mighty generous of you. Where'd you find Fogg?
Another thing, Fogg's got men watching for you on every road. He can't be bought off and he can't be talked out of it. The only way for you to get out of town is by train.
Sure made myself a heap of trouble.
Well, maybe I can get you out of this if you do what I tell you.
No, sir, I ain't gonna load myself on you. Fogg will have some boys watching the train depot. Best way for me is to make a dash for it by road. Yeah, tonight.
What about Miss Mamie?
Well, there's always something, ain't there?
You were man enough to leave McMurray's outfit for her. Now, why don't you grow up all the way?
Grow up?
Hey, look, why don't you just use some judgment and common sense for a change? You can't shoot your way through that whole McMurray outfit, and you know it. Even if you did, where would you be? Somewhere out in the trail there where they'd just shoot you down like a dog.
Yeah, I reckon so.
Now, sit down and listen to me. I got an idea that might work.
Why do you do this? I got Mamie back from you. Seems to me
It's
like...
none of your business why I do anything. Now, you gonna listen to me?
Okay, Wyatt. I'm listening with my big mule ears.
And I'm going to marry George and leave this town. My uncle in Kansas City will give him a job. Was that plan so foolish, Doc?
Well, it ain't too realistic.
Now, why do you say that?
Fogg McMurray's got Big George holed up here in Wichita.
Oh, well, Mr. Earp's going to fix that. He promised he'd talk to that awful man first thing this morning.
Talking and fixing is two different things. You know, maybe, I was just wondering.
No?
Couldn't you, by a strong effort of willpower, fall out of love with George?
No, I tried that.
Try again, harder.
Now that he's risked his life to break with those criminals, after he's proved he wants to live a decent and respectable life, Doctor, I'm ashamed of you.
Yes, but Mamie, I made some bets.
Now, I told you.
Come in.
Oh, good news.
Well, it's not bad, Miss Mamie.
Didn't Mr. McMurray...
George is waiting for you to tell you what we have to do over at the hotel.
Oh, fine. I'll see you later.
Don't lie to me. You ain't settled nothing with Fogg McMurray.
You are right. Now on, it's up to you. Yeah.
What?
George's life is in your hands.
Oh, What's the matter with him? Is he sick?
He'll soon be dead. And you're going to have to sign a death certificate and put him in a coffin, and then Mamie is going to take him to Kansas City for the interment. She and the remains are leaving on the afternoon train.
You know, I always suspicioned it. I think you got brain fever.
Can you think of a better scheme to get him out of town?
You mean he's going to pretend to be dead?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Look, see, he's going to come out of the hotel to gun me, and we're going to meet out in front of your office. And I'm going to shoot him with a blank, and well, we'll carry him inside here, and you give him a dose of ether.
No! You hear me? No!
Well, wait a minute. It's the only time I've ever asked you a favor.
When did you ever do me a favor?
Well, this is for Miss Mamie.
You got a crush to ask me to falsify a death report on a certificate like that? No! You hear me? Get out of here. Get out! Get out!
All right. It's going to cost you $850.
What?
Remember that claim you made against the government for that patent medicine I lost in the nation's job?
You got the check? Hand it over.
Oh, I can't. United States Marshal, I got to countersign it first.
Blackmail. It's brigandage. It's illegal.
Well, you know that medicine wasn't worth $850.
You signed the claim.
Then I can unsign the check. So you and I can't be friends anymore.
Good. That's the best news I ever had in my life. Now, wait a minute. Sign the check.
You do your part first.
Oh, you scoundrel!
George, listen to me.
Herb's trying to steal my girl. I'm gonna gun him on sight. Where's Wyatt Earp? You seen him?
Herb's walking back from the jail to Dr. Breek's office. I wouldn't be in a hurry to meet him, cowhand.
I'll blow him down.
Oh, George. George!
Hey, Earp. All right. Make your move. You make yours first.
Go on, get away from him.
This man is dead. What? We'll take care of
Move
it.
along, go ahead. Break it up.
Carry him inside.
Big news, Fogg. Wyatt Earp killed George in a gunfight about 20 minutes ago.
You see him do it?
No, but I talked to a fellow who was there. Earp got him in the stomach. He was dead when they carried him into Doc Fabrique's.
Still sounds too good to be true. Maybe a few of us better ride into Wichita and make sure. You stay here.
You have to get back to work, Uncle Ted. I'll be all right.
Your folks shouldn't let you to go through all this alone, Miss Mamie.
Oh, they'll be here. They're just late. You better hurry along now. And thank you for everything.
Goodbye, George.
I reckon you're the gal that George got himself killed over. We come to pay our respects.
I'm sure you did.
Why don't we take a look, Fogg? Maybe Herb got the wrong man. Yeah, he may not even really be dead. Just step aside, ma'am.
Aren't you satisfied? Haven't you done enough to us already?
Well, now, you just step aside, ma'am, and I'll put a few more slugs in there, and then...
Look, Murray, put your gun away. Take your men out of town.
All right, son. Congratulations on a good job.
It's all right now, Mamie. Everything will be all right.
Repeatedly contend with in taming the wild and lawless cowtown of Wichita was mob rule, when otherwise respectable citizens, and some not so respectable, tried to take the law into their own hands.
Where's that coffee, Tex?
On up.
Morning, Shorty.
Howdy do.
How's things at the Rainbow Ranch? Some coffee?
No thanks. Well, we're losing cattle now and then.
You're not the only one. Every ranch of the 100 miles of Wichita has been losing cows lately.
Including us.
Well, maybe the rustling's over with now, after what I just seen.
What'd you see?
I seen Bill Slocum in a gully out between the Salt Flats and Miller Creek.
Well, that's our range.
He had a fire going and a cow roped on the ground.
Whose cow? One of his?
No, Duke. One of yours.
What?
Yeah. I seen the brand plain on her hide.
Maybe Bill Slocum's been doing all this rustling all along, Duke.
Sure looks like it. Using the running iron, I reckon.
Now, I didn't exactly see him use the running iron. It might be that he had that cow tied up for some other reason.
Sure. Why else would he have a fire going? Unless to heat up an iron to change a brand.
Yeah. Why else?
You know, we ought to make a call on Bill Slocum. Teach him the error of his ways, Duke.
Sit down, Shorty.
No thanks, Duke. I gotta go back to Rainbow. So long, fellas.
Thanks for the information,
So long.
Shorty. Now we get that river bottom land that Bill Slocum claims is his for nothing.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's a good thing we got Shorty for a witness.
Sure is. No one would believe it if one of my riders claimed he saw Bill rustling. Tex, you better get the boys. We're going to a party.
Where do I pick up Bill? At his ranch?
No, he'll be at the cattlemen's meeting this afternoon in Wichita. We'll take him in hand there.
You think that's a good idea? White Earp might cause us some trouble.
This happened out of town. It isn't any of Earp's business. And if he's as smart as people claim he is, he'll be looking in the other direction when we pick up Bill.
You're the boss.
Is the meeting over? Hi, Moss. Bill?
What?
Mr. Delaney, how'd the meeting end up?
Oh, like all meetings, a lot of talk, no action. Me, I'm a man who wants a little action.
Like what?
Well, I'd rather not say. But one thing I do know, if I lose many more cattle to the rustlers, I'm going into bankruptcy.
Maybe you ought to hire a couple of range detectives yourself.
There you are, Moss.
No, I can do my own detecting. If I catch anyone following my herds around, I'll string them up to the tallest tree in Kansas.
That wouldn't be very wise, Mr. Delaney.
You got a better idea?
Yeah, you catch anybody rustling, you ought to turn them over to the proper authorities and let them give them a fair trial.
Fair trial? Why, the courts would let a man like that go scot-free 9 times out of 10.
Well, if he's innocent, naturally. You forget that all of us are innocent until proven guilty. I'll see you.
Yeah. Well, it's plain to see he's got no cows to lose. Earp or no Earp, if I catch me a rustler, I'm going to see just how far his neck will stretch. Well, so long, Bill. Say hello to the wife and the young'uns.
Right.
Somewheres, Bill?
Going in that saloon if it's any of your business, which it ain't.
Says he's going in for a drink, Duke.
You haven't got time for that drink, Bill. There's your horse. Get on.
What's the idea of pulling a gun on me?
Get on your horse like Duke says.
Put him on his horse.
Where are we taking him, Duke?
The Cottonwood Grove at Cowskin Camp.
Quiet. Duke Wilson and his boys just buffaloed Bill Slocum. They're taking him out of town. I heard Duke say something about the Cottonwood Grove at Cowskin Camp. Looks like they planned a lynch bill.
You all set, Tex?
All set, Duke.
Shorty Beckett saw it all, so we have proof, if we need it.
No use my telling you you got the wrong man. You know who's been doing the rustling around here.
Much obliged for the river bottom land, Bill. After you slip the noose over his head, I'll hit the horse.
Get that rope off that horse and turn it loose.
You're sticking your nose into something that's none of your business, Wyatt.
Well, I figure lynching's every man's business, Duke.
Your authority don't extend beyond the town limits of Wichita.
You must be mistaken. Seems to me I got quite a lot of authority right here in my hand. You can't kidnap a man on our main street and bring him out here to hang him, or did somebody forget to tell you that? All right, Tex, cut him loose. I said cut him loose!
That's for past favors.
Man's a proven rustler, you know that.
Yeah, who proved it?
Shorty Beckett saw him using a running iron on one of my cows this morning.
Why, you...
Take it easy, Bill. That's hard in the knuckles. Go and climb on your horse. We'll start back to town.
Well, I guess we know now how you feel about rustlers, Mr. Wyatt Earp.
Look, proof of a man's guilt is only decided by a court of law. If you get any charges to bring against Mr. Slocum, you do it in the proper manner. And we'll have a trial by judge and jury. They'll decide whether your charges are true or not. That's the way civilized people do it, Duke, just in case you're interested.
You haven't heard the last of this.
What are you gonna do about it, Duke?
Tex, you hightail back to the ranch with the boys and get your guns. Meet me at Allen's Corner about an hour before sundown.
All right.
Heard about things like lynching parties, but that was too close. Wyatt, ever had anything like that happen to you?
No. Never worn a noose yet, but I think there are a lot of boys around Wichita that got some hemp all picked out for me.
Mighty awful feeling. You can't do anything about it. You can't reason with anybody. You can't convince them.
Well, I tell you, Bill, half the trouble of being a marshal is trying to protect men from lynch mobs.
If it hadn't been for you, I'd be dead right now. Sure. And what would they have done to those guys if they had lynched me?
Well, they'd have been arrested, tried.
Sure, and I'd have been dead. And the law would have just pointed their finger at them and said, you're bad, bad boys. Isn't that right?
No, you're wrong. They'd have been found guilty. Now, come on, get hold of yourself. Try to think of something else.
All right. All right, what do I do now?
You stay here in jail under my custody. Till I can prove your case one way or the other.
Stay here in jail. You just got through telling me that one of your biggest troubles is keeping away lynch mobs. If you keep me in there, they're bound to try and get me.
Now, look, cool off and try and forget about it. You're going to stay here.
Getting out of here. Now, look, if I'm going to die, I'm not going to do it like a sitting duck. I'm going to take someone with me. Wyatt, you saved my life. I don't want it to be you. Now, get out of my way.
I didn't think you'd fall for anything like that. You know, that gun isn't loaded.
I know that trick, and I know it's loaded.
Well, if I were you, I'd break it open and make sure.
I know that trick, too, and I know it's loaded.
Are you sure, Mr. Slocum?
Don't make me pull the trigger, Wyatt.
You know, I keep that gun unloaded because it's a good test on prisoners. I've had a couple of them pull the trigger on me.
You're bluffing. I'm sorry, Wyatt. I could have killed you. I'm sorry.
No, I don't think you wanted to really pull that trigger.
No, I guess I didn't. Look, doesn't that prove to you I'm innocent?
No, it just proves you're not a murderer. It's a long road from rustling cattle to shooting a man in cold blood.
But I am innocent.
Then you ought to be willing to stand trial. A lynch mob, they don't go by the law and they don't go by evidence, but the judge and jury will.
How do I know
Settle
that?
it in court, Bill. Otherwise, you're going to have that thing hanging over your head the rest of your life, and I can't keep you in protective custody forever.
All right, put me on trial.
Good. I'll make the arrangements with Judge Jewett.
What? Sure want to thank you.
Come on, I'll put you in. So.
Well, thanks, boys. I'll tell the marshal.
Wyatt. Duke Wilson and his men are in the joints around Keno Corner talking up a mob to come after Bill Slocum.
I had the scheduled time pretty well. That's why I'm eating supper now. I didn't think I'd have time for it later.
He's got a lot of half-drunk troublemakers ready to follow him.
Drunks usually make up the major portion of any mob.
You might need the townspeople to back you up. Shall I ring the triangle, Wyatt?
No, don't ring the triangle. I think the best way to handle a lynch mob like this is for me and my deputies to try and reason with them. If I had a mob backing me up, too, it's liable to bring on the fight they're all spoiling for. Cause wholesale slaughter on both sides. Come on. Here they come.
That's far enough.
You're digging your own grave, Wyatt. We want Bill Slocum. Now get out of our way or we'll mow you down.
Duke, you take one more step toward me and I'll kill you.
Go on, Duke. Don't let that Tim Horn bluff you.
If any of you think I'm bluffing, just take one step forward. I got 5 slugs in here and 2 barrels loaded with buckshot to spray both sides of the street. Between them, I don't think I could miss more than half of you. Well, Mr. Delaney, I'm surprised to see you with this irresponsible bunch. Most of them half drunk, all of them just itching to string somebody up. They don't care who or what the reason is. I guess the opinion I once had of you being a fair man was all wrong.
Well, I've been losing a lot of cows lately, Wyatt. And I sure feel any man that's a rustler should be strung up to the highest tree in all of Kansas.
Well, I'm not saying a rustler shouldn't be punished, Mr. Delaney. But why don't you let the law decide what punishment should fit the crime? Let them carry it out.
Law? With a rigged jury, I reckon.
The jury will be made up of cowmen. Now, who'd be better qualified to decide whether a man's a rustler or not than men like yourself?
Then you figure to give Bill a trial? Not let him go loose like Duke here claims?
Bill's going to trial tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. A charge of rustling. Judge Jewett tells me he's planning on having you as foreman of the jury.
Well, maybe he's right. Maybe that's the right way to do it.
No, he's just trying to grease you up, Jeff.
You lied to me when you said Wyatt figured to let Bill go free.
Yeah, what makes you think he won't?
Because one thing about Wyatt, he don't lie. If he says Bill Slocum's going on trial, and with me, foreman of the jury, well, then that's so. Come on, break it up. What are you hanging around here for? Come on.
Hold it! All you men are carrying guns in violation of a city ordinance. Before you start back to your saloons, you walk ahead of me to Judge Jewett's office and pay your fines. Guns are not to be worn within the city limits of Wichita. In the future, I advise you all to remember that. It'll save you a lot of money.
Now get walking.
Go on, move! Good evening, Bill. I had your dinner, huh?
Yeah, I didn't eat very much. I lost my appetite.
I got word out to your wife. Told her you'd be staying in town tonight on business. Didn't want her to worry about you.
Much obliged. Oh, and thanks, too, Wyatt, for stopping that gang of drunks from pulling me out of here.
Don't forget it. Now, you're going to stand trial at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. I think you're innocent, Bill. But thinking's not enough. I got to have proof. Otherwise, that jury just might see fit to bring in a verdict of guilty. You know what that means?
I thought a man had to be proven guilty, not innocent.
Well, that's the usual way. But everyone's a little touchy about losing cattle. They're just liable to let the circumstantial evidence carry enough weight to prove your guilt. You better give me some idea where I can locate most of your herd, and I'll take a ride out there first thing in the morning and have a look-see. Maybe we can figure out something.
Morning, Mr. Earp.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Grimmick.
What are you doing up so early?
Well, I came to get my horse, but my key doesn't work.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. I changed the lock. I'm going to have to give you a new key.
Well, I'm glad you finally told me about it.
Well, you want your horse, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to take a little ride in the country.
Well, this is kind of a funny day to be taking a ride. I heard there's going to be a big time over in town today. What with Bill Slocum standing trial and all.
Yeah, well, I'll be back in plenty of time for that.
Court sensation. Quiet in the courtroom. We have the case against Bill Slocum, accused of rustling. Stand up, Bill. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty, of course.
You don't need that, the course in there. Simmer down, Paul. Bill wants to emphasize the fact that he thinks he's innocent. Let him. I don't see the counsel for the defense. Any of you gents know where Wyatt Earp is?
What's Wyatt Earp got to do with the trial, Judge?
He's going to act as defense counsel.
Ain't that a little irregular, Judge?
Well, it would be ordinarily, but Wyatt asked me if he could. I said yes, which makes it regular.
Well, I guess it don't matter much, seeing as how we got enough evidence to hang Bill anyway. Only hope Wyatt ain't as fast with his tongue as he is with his guns.
Now, let's get on with the case. Wyatt will show up at any time. Bill, you better step over here at the stand and give us your side of the story.
Raise your right hand, place your left hand on the Bible. You swear to tell truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Stand.
And you'll never get a cowman to believe that you had that fire burning for any reason but to heat up a running iron.
Like I said, I roped that cow before dawn. I had to wait for it to get light.
What were you doing putting your rope on a Duke cow? She ain't your property.
While I was waiting for it to get light enough to see that Duke brand plane, I started the fire to fix my breakfast.
Why were you so curious about the brand on a Duke cow? To see if you could blot it out some way?
I've been losing a lot of stock lately, both cows and calves, and I thought that cow was mine. I was certain of it.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
In my courtroom, Wyatt?
Oh, nothing will go wrong, I assure you, Your Honor.
Proceed.
Are you trying to say that you think Duke Wilson's been stealing your cows?
I am, and I was trying to prove it.
It ain't bad enough that you rustle from a man, but you got to turn around and accuse him of doing it to you.
I'd like to say a few words to all of you.
I object, Judge. I got the floor here, and I intend to keep it.
Let Wyatt speak his piece. He's gone out and gotten some evidence. Maybe it'll settle this case.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Murdoch, would you give me a hand?
Glad to.
Now, one of the things you cowmen should have taken into consideration before taking for granted that Mr. Slocum here was the rustler was the almost impossible task for Bill to change a brand like Duke, which has got 4 letters in it, into his own brand, the bar D, which has only got 1 letter with a small bar running through it. Now, if for no other reason, I figured Bill was innocent because of this.
There's something to it.
But now take a look how easy it is to change Bill's Bar D brand into the Duke brand. Simply by blotting out the small bar that runs through the D on the branding iron and adding the 3 letters U-K-E. Now, if you excuse me, I have a witness I'd like to bring in. Now, whose cow would you say this was?
Well, that's one of Bill Slocum's cows. Got his brand, Bar D.
All right, we know it's Bill's cow. Now, Mr. Delaney, it's pretty easy, isn't it, to tell which calf belongs to which cow?
Easiest thing in the world. If the calf ain't ours, the cow won't have nothing to do with it.
All right, now, if this cow had a calf, what brand would be on the calf?
Ooh, the same brand as the cow, of course.
The Bar D brand, in other words.
Yeah?
Well, now, what if the calf had a different brand than the Bar D?
Well, that'd be rustling, plain and simple.
And, Mr. Delaney, how would you identify the rustler?
The rustlers would be them that's got their brand on the calf.
Thank you. Mr. Grimmick?
Well, look at that. It's Duke what's the rustler. It ain't Bill Slocum.
You two stay there.
Let us have them two, Wyatt. We'll give them what they figure to give to Bill Slocum. Only we'll give it to him proper.
Order. That's a fine way for a jury to behave.
Your Honor, I'll put these 2 men under arrest.
Good. And I'm dismissing the case against Bill Slocum.
I'd like to say a few more words, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, Wyatt.
Now, you men got to get it through your thick skulls that the days of lynching are over on this frontier. If you continue ignoring the law, you can bet your bottom dollar we'll never get out of the woods at all. Ollie, I want to take him to jail. We got a nice cell and 2 bunks waiting for him.
Orders adjourned.
Just saying thanks doesn't sound like much, but thanks a lot. Gotta be getting on my way. My family will start worrying. See you soon, Wyatt.
See you, Bill.
Come on, baby. Go on.
You did a fine job, Wyatt. You saved Bill's life.
Well, I tell you, Mr. Murdoch, you got to kind of give credit where credit's due. Had quite a bit of help from that calf and its mother.
In Wichita, Kansas, wanted to get rid of Marshal Wyatt Earp. Men were hired to shoot him, and they failed. Earp had been out of town, and a crooked gambler by the name of Keno McGee had taken advantage of his absence to achieve some very profitable results. When the cat's away, mice will play.
Get out of here! No picture!
Set it up. I don't want any trouble with you, Murdoch. But you newspaper guys got no business taking pictures of my place. What are you hiding, Keno? What's the sense of you and me arguing? I got a license from the marshal's office to open. Sure, while Marshal Earp is out of town. You couldn't have gotten it when he was here. Pete Dahlgren is deputy while Earp's away. Now take your complaints to him. Don't bother me. Go ahead, take it. Hey, you, none of that! Wait, you have a public license. I want a picture of what a crooked gambling place looks like. Go ahead and take it.
Give me that plate!
Come on,
Get
take
that
it back.
camera busted!
Hold it! Hold it, Mac! Hold it! Hold it! That's Marshal Earp. Go on inside.
The rest of you men, break it up. Go on, move.
What took you so long? You said you'd be gone only 10 or 12 days.
I'll tell you about that later. Now, what's going on here?
I want Keno's place closed. I want you to take back his license. Oh, no, Mr. Murdoch. We just kind of lost our tempers, that's all.
Your name's Keno?
Keno McGee. And Pete Dahlgren, your deputy, gave me permission to open this place. But Murdoch here... Shut up. Things have been happening in your office while you were away. You better look into them and look into them fast, or I'll have a story to write you might not like. See you later. Thanks. That camera cost me $300. There's no paid for yet.
You say my chief deputy gave you permission to open?
Pete Doggan, while you were down in Oklahoma territory. Murdoch doesn't like me. It's a case of personal prejudice. If you don't believe it, just ask Pete.
I will. Now, Mr. McGee, you got a good corner here. The saloon has always made money. You just keep your nose clean.
Oh, hello, Marshal. We missed you around here.
I missed you, too. What do you got?
He's got a shipment of new cards. Got to change them every now and then.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's hard to keep 52 of them in the same deck. That's what causes a lot of trouble in Wichita.
Which brings you to your point. I mean, you want something. You didn't just come in and chin with me.
All right. You know all the saloon keepers and gamblers in Wichita. What do you know about Keno McGee?
Sometimes I think you don't like me.
Why do you say that?
Because every time you ask me a question, it's one I could get shot for answering.
Well, you'll be waving goodbye to a lot of people around here, so don't let it worry you. Now, we're talking about Keno.
Must have been a one-sided conversation. But if you have to know, I ran across him in Dodge a few years ago, before I ever had a place of my own. As a matter of fact, he asked me to work for him as a dealer. Thought I'd be a novelty.
Go on.
They were fixing to run him out of Dodge at that time.
Man's got to be a pretty bad boy to be run out of Dodge. Crooked gambling?
Oh, lots of reasons. Blackmail, payoffs. He don't stop anywhere.
Sounds like a nice, pleasant fellow.
That's why I wish you wouldn't ask me those kind of questions. Because people like Keno don't stop anywhere.
Well, don't worry, Miss Kate.
Don't worry.
I didn't know the right thing to do about Keno. You was off to Oklahoma territory helping your Indian friends. I just had to use my own best judgment, Wyatt.
Did Mr. Murdoch tell you that Keno's application for a license had been turned down once before?
Yes, he did. But they've been enemies for years. The way I got it, Keno tried to buy the mortgage on the Eagle, put Murdoch out of business. But that's ancient history, Wyatt.
How long has he been operating?
Opened a week ago Thursday, about 10 days.
Any trouble so far?
No, sir. Sam Renfro knows the man better than I do, but both Sam and I agreed that the man was entitled to a license.
No, I'm not asking you to explain anything, Pete. It's just that this man's got a pretty bad reputation.
Well, if I did wrong, I'll get in a horse and start riding.
No, I don't think you did wrong. I think you did what you thought was right. You and the rest of the deputies have backed me to the limit so far, and I feel the same way about all of you. So let you and I keep our eye on Keno.
Thanks, Wyatt.
Oh, howdy, Sam. Oh, Pete, if you see Mr. Murdoch out there around, will you send him on over?
Murdoch's not here yet, huh?
No, not yet.
Hey, you must have had quite a showdown with that Daggett gang.
Well, I sure could have used you and that great left-handed shooting of yours.
Captain Benteen says you saved them 2 Indians from the happy hunting ground. You turned up a cache of 400 Winchesters. Daggett gang aimed to sell the Sitting Bull for whatever he's up to in Montana.
What's been happening around Wichita?
No grief. Just that row Pete must have told you about. You think it was a mistake to give Keno the license?
No, not exactly.
I'd close the fellow, Wyatt. Why take the risk? Murdoch's all riled up. He'll start a big hoorah.
Pete said you were in favor of the license.
I was. I said to him what I say to you. Keno's a real slimy character. But they haven't yet made that a reason why a man can't get a license. I'll tell you what I'd do, Wyatt.
Don't let me stop you, Sam.
Lucky you did, sir. Wyatt's my boss. I got no business telling him what to do. Excuse me.
Is that man a good officer?
He's the best hand with a gun I got. He's so brave, he scares me.
Oh, now, Wyatt.
Well, what's the news in Wichita?
The story I hope I won't have to print.
The city refuses to take any action on Keno McGee, huh? Look, Mr. Murdoch, if I tried to close Keno's place without any evidence, I'd be putting my chief deputy under suspicion.
And if I print that story, you and your whole staff will be under suspicion.
Go ahead and print it.
Wyatt, are you sure of your deputies?
What do you mean?
Do you trust them?
Like I trust myself. Well, I handpicked each one of those men. When I walk into trouble, like a bunch of drunken cowhands boasting that they're going to cut me down, all I got to do is give the word that I want 2 deputies to back me, and they'll be there. I don't even have to look around to see whether it's Sam, Pete, Ted, or Joe. I know they'll be there.
Oh, no, Wyatt. We're talking about different things.
Look, you're probably right about Keno McGee, but I'm not going to change Pete's decision unless Keno gets out of line.
Excuse me, Wyatt. Rowdy Kate wants to see you right away. But the way I got it was mighty important.
Thanks.
It's him, Miss Kate. It's the marshal.
Well, send him on up.
You can come up, Mr. Earp.
And close that door and don't try to listen.
Oh, no, Miss Kate.
Hello, Wyatt. I don't know why I let you get me all mixed up in your affairs. Maybe it's because you kissed me that day.
Oh, look, let's not go into that again. Besides...
I know. It was really me who kissed you.
Well, it's all been very pleasant. Now, why did you send for me?
You've done me several good turns, Wyatt, and I'm fond of you. You asked me a lot about Keno McGee. So now I can really tell you something.
What?
Have you heard that Keno McGee owns one of your deputies?
Well, I hate to think that, Miss Kate.
Well, could be barroom talk, but I've a hunch it's true.
Who? Well, come on, tell me. Which one of my deputies do you think Keno's bought?
Well, the way I heard it, it's Pete Dahlgren.
That's just a hunch based on spite talk. I don't think Pete'd take a bribe.
Well, he let McGee open. He knew that Murdoch hates Keno.
Well, Pete explained all of that to me, Miss Kate. But I thank you for your interest.
Wyatt, listen to me. It's only a gal's guess, but this gal has been around. If Keno did buy Pete, then he can work some kind of a dirty frame on you, right? Open your eyes, Wyatt. Protect yourself. Mildred?
Yes, Miss Kate, excuse me.
Now what is it?
Mr. Earp, Mr. Murdoch sent word he's waiting at your office.
Thank you. And don't worry. I'll be careful.
Well, glory, hallelujah. A man's taken my advice.
I had to send for you, Wyatt. What's the matter? Anonymous letter was waiting for me at my office. Read it.
Bribe money in Wyatt Earp's desk. Letting Keno McGee stay open. You think I had something to do with this?
Oh, don't be an idiot. It's like I've been trying to tell you. One of your deputies is framing you.
About $300 worth.
All right. Let's call in all of your deputies and face them with it.
First man to face with it is Keno.
That's exactly what he wants. Since you found the money in the desk, you'd have a hard time explaining yourself.
Our only chance to find the man who planted that money is to make Keno think his frame worked.
It's too risky, Wyatt. You lose your star. That would make Pete Dahlgren acting marshal. He's the one who helped frame you.
I don't believe that. If Pete did do it, I'll get him. But how can I accuse him or any of the other deputies? Well, what proof do I have?
Well, there's no proof.
All right. You take this money over to Keno and accuse him of bribing me.
Have him hauled before Judge Stewart.
That's right.
So he takes away your star and your guns.
Well, that's exactly what Keno wants, so let's play along with him.
You intend to move around this town without your guns?
Well, that's the law of Wichita.
Yes. Maybe you'll be stuck with it.
This is the money that Mr. McGee admits sending to Marshal Earp. I found the money in the marshal's desk.
But it ain't a bribe or anything like that, Your Honor. It's a free will contribution to the Peace Officers' Christmas Fund.
Did Marshal Earp solicit this contribution?
Well, no, sir, he didn't. He just sort of hinted if I wanted to stay in business around here, I better pay up.
This is an astounding charge, Marshal Earp. Have you anything to say?
Nothing, Your Honor.
You realize this leaves the court no choice but to suspend you?
Yes, sir.
The court would like to state, for the benefit of the press, that it reserves judgment on Marshal Earp's guilt or innocence. Mr. Earp, you will be suspended for 1 week. If at the end of that period you have not offered a satisfactory explanation of the matter, you will be removed from office permanently. Court's adjourned.
And all I'm saying is, one of us framed Wyatt. I'm not going to take this.
Don't look at me. I had nothing to do with it.
You let Keno McGee open up.
You felt the same way I did about it. We both felt he at least had a right to open. I want to find out who sent that money. I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
Pete? You're acting marshal now.
I think we should all quit.
All right. I'm willing. So am I.
No. Not all of you. Just one of you should quit.
Keno's thrown his bar wide open to celebrate. Free grub and drinks.
I'll pay him a visit.
No, I'll do that. Put those on, you might need them.
I can't. The judge suspended me.
Now, do you want to be legal or do you want to be dead? Keep those handy.
I'll have plenty of time to put them on after I find out who helped Keno in the deal.
I think I can find out.
Oh?
Now, you go to the hotel. Stay off the streets, promise?
All right.
Now, wait here a second until I've got a good start for Keno's place.
You be careful.
You're the one who better be careful.
Come in, come in.
It's Rowdy Kate, boss. She wants to see you.
Well, bring her in.
Come in, Miss Kate.
Miss Kate, my darling, my competitor, but still my friend, I hope.
Sure, Keno. Pull that out for me since you're feeling like a gent tonight.
Well, it'd be a privilege. There you are, Kate.
Thank you. Well, Wyatt Earp got fired. Where's the champagne?
Champagne, the best in the house. Somebody told me that you and Earp used to be friends.
Used to be for about a week. What's the next move, boss?
No move. Why do you call me boss?
I didn't come here to play games. I want to stay in business. When do you really open up the town? Wild and woolly Wichita, like it used to be.
Not yet. Maybe soon.
Dahlgren's your man, isn't he?
I'm not talking yet.
I don't want to go swimming in this.
I'd fill a bathtub for you, sweetheart. You just say the word. Pete Dahlgren. Somebody shot him. Too bad. You better drink your champagne, Kate.
Oh, listen, Keno. I came here to talk business. Dahlgren was your man, wasn't he?
You want to know? The whole town wants to know. We'll tell you when the time comes.
But no freeze out.
You got no worries. Take it easy. You're one of us. There'll be a man around to collect.
Naturally.
Drink up, Kate.
How is he, Doc?
Pete was shot in the back by a left-handed man.
When will Dahlgren be able to tell us who shot him?
Don't be an idiot. Pete never knew what hit him. The fella snuck up behind him. Questioning Pete won't do any good. Pete's dead.
I'm sorry, Wyatt.
It's kind of rough when a man has to die to clear himself. You tell Mayor Hope that I want Sam Renfro named as acting marshal.
Yeah. Sure, I'll tell him.
Who is it?
Wyatt.
Sit down.
No. You hear about Pete?
I was with Keno when it happened. Who do you think killed him?
Oh, I wish I knew.
If they find out I'm mixed up in all of this, they'll come gunning for me. Wyatt, I'm scared.
What did Keno say when Pete was killed?
Just that it was too bad. Will you put on your guns?
Yeah.
Stay here?
I'll try and keep you from harm, you know that.
Wyatt, it was Sam Renfro.
What makes you say that?
I can add 2 and 2. Keno wouldn't deal until Pete was killed. Now he says a man will be around to collect for me every week.
I'm gonna get my guns. I'll be right back. You stay close to Mildred.
Thanks, Wyatt.
I'll send her right up.
Hey, Ted, you and Joe come in here and help me clean up this mess of paper. Ted, you hear me?
Sam, Keno said someone talked. He wouldn't say who, but words around Earp's gone for his guns.
Tell Keno I'll be right down.
Yes, sir.
Who is it?
Sam Renfro. Open up. Give it to me straight. Who knows about me?
Wait a minute, Sam. Who are you pushing around?
I said give it to me straight. Who'd you talk to?
Well, only Kate, but she agreed to pay. She's good people.
Good people. She's one of Wyatt's best friends, you fool.
If that man's coming to shoot us, why don't we run out of here? It's only been a few minutes. Why? It'll come. Yes, but what if Mr. Earp don't get here first? What then? That's him. It ain't Mr. Earp. Don't you go to that door, please. Wyatt?
Yes?
Sam just killed Keno McGee. I think he's on his way over here.
Oh, good Lord.
You clear out, Mildred. He's not after you.
No, sir. I stay with Miss Kate.
All right. And you get over against that wall. Miss Kate, when he comes, you open the door, then you flatten yourself against that wall. All right, remember, keep back against the wall. Shh.
Who is it?
Marshal Renfro, Miss Kate. Open up.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Sam. You go for that gun, I'll break both your arms. That means the left one first. Just like you shot Pete in the back.
You're not that good.
And are you willing to state that you dictated this confession and signed it of your own free will? You're charged with the murder of Keno McGee. Also, the murder of Chief Deputy Dalton on the streets of Wichita. You will be remanded to jail and held there for trial. Take him away.
Judge, I won't be safe in jail. As soon as this courtroom's cleared, it's just a matter of time until some mob breaks in here to get me. I won't be safe, Judge.
You'll be safe, Your Honor. No lynch mob's gonna get to him. The other deputies and I'll see to that. If I had wanted to take his life, I'd have taken it when he tried to murder Miss Kate. He's worried about a mob. Well, I wonder if he's also worried about the fact that he blackened the good name of a fellow worker and then murdered him. I wonder if he's worried about the fact that Miss Kate's still alive and that he was stopped before he could kill me. No, Mr. Renfro. There are other things more important than mobs. But don't you worry. I'm not going to let a lynch mob get you. You can rest assured of that. No. I want you to stand before this court and be legally tried and sentenced to hang. I've never asked that penalty before. But in the case of Sam Renfro, I believe it to be just and fair. I thank Your Honor for hearing me out.
When cowboys were robbed and murdered for money won at the Keno House, Wichita's popular cowtown casino, they became suspicious of the owner and his gamblers. To find out who was trailing and robbing the Cowboys, Wyatt Earp began making the Keno House his special beat.
Everybody drink Frank!
Evening, Wyatt. I was just about to send for you.
Got a heavy winner, huh?
Yeah. Puncher named Roy Blake. Just cashed in over 1,000.
You talked to him?
Didn't do any good. Said he could take care of himself. Said he'd like to see any Wichita stick-up artist try to take that money off him.
Hey, Roy, what are you going to do with all your money?
I'm going to take it back to Texas. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, real patriotic! Hey, quiet. Roy himself has got a few words to say.
I'm going to spend this money on breeding stock. I'm going to give myself a spread of my own.
Hear that, boys? Let's think through a future cattle king.
I don't want no more to drink. I better be getting back to camp.
Sure, Simp here and me will come right along. See that you get back safe.
Yeah, sure.
Shorty. Simp, old friend, I don't need no help. I can take care of myself.
No, you're carrying a payload. You need protection.
I need protection, boys. I have to have a bodyguard for all this money I want. Frankie, and good luck, boys. Break the bank.
Watch it, boy.
This one I'll watch myself.
Real pal, real friendly. That's what I'm gonna have. Here's my old pal. Oh, I'll buy a drink for your horse. Come on, get out of here. Let's go out to the ranch. I'm gonna buy something for everybody, boys. Come on, Sim, let's get up there. Rock riders, let's go. Come on, let's go. Get out of there.
Morning, Marshal.
Morning.
Yes, you're up early.
I haven't been to bed yet. Been riding trail on a lucky cowhand.
Oh, Blake?
Yep.
Yeah, we weren't at the Keno house, but we heard about him.
Yeah, I figure he's safe now. He's across the creek.
Must have reached camp and broke the news.
Yeah, I guess so. I'll see you boys back in town.
Marshal! Marshal!
Blake's been killed. That's the shots we heard when we was talking. You seemed kind of interested a while ago, Marshal, so I thought maybe you'd like to see for yourself.
Come on, show me.
Come on.
Where'd you find him?
Marshal was showing considerable interest a while ago. I let him see for himself. Got any idea who might have done him in, Mr. Earp?
Aren't you the two who left town with Blake?
What do you mean by that, mister?
Simp, I'll do the talking. Sure, we were with Blake. We rode this side of the creek with him. He headed for his camp, we headed for ours.
Did you hear the shot?
Sure. We hot-footed it back here and found him right where he is now.
You see anybody else?
No. Some of the rest of the boys started drifting up about that time.
I followed Blake as far as the creek. I figured he didn't need any more protection once he got the other side, among the camps, among his own friends. But the way things are beginning to look now, you boys are being bushwhacked by your own pals.
Thought you were here to help us, Mr. Earp. Sounds now like you're accusing us.
Why don't you go back to town where you belong? We don't need your help.
Well, whether you need it or not don't make any difference. You're gonna get it.
All right, Earp. Why don't you start off by trying to arrest me?
Sam. You better take your friend down to the creek and cool him off.
For once Mr. Earp here is among us as a friend. Least you can do is give him a chance.
Cody's right, Simp. For once, we'll have to assume the marshal's acting in good faith. What do you propose to do first, Mr. Earp?
I don't know yet. I'm not so sure I'd tell if I did. But so far, every man that's been murdered and robbed never had much of a chance to put up a fight. Every one of them got it closer to Cowskin Creek than they did to Wichita.
Meaning?
Meaning he must have thought he was among friends when he was killed. Think it over.
Mr. Earp here?
Yeah, he's right over there.
Mr. Earp? Remember me?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure, but I never did get your name, though.
Jeff Burns.
Please.
Could I see you alone?
Yeah, hey, fellas, let us have the room for a minute, will you?
Yeah, sure.
Getting any place with the robbers?
No. That's probably because the Keno house hasn't dropped any jackpots lately.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about. I got an idea.
Hmm?
It's simple. All you need is another big winner over there. If the bait's big enough, it ought to bring the robbers out.
Yeah, well, I thought of that, but trouble is I can't find anybody to qualify for the job. Anybody from town look just like what it is, a setup. Needs a trail riding cowhand.
I know. That's why I'm volunteering.
Why the sudden change? Yeah, the morning at the creek, I had a feeling the boys were suspecting me.
Well, I guess we feel about it like this. Fighting cowmen might come pretty easy to you, Earp. But robbing them, well, that's something else again.
Thanks.
Welcome. How do I get the job?
You know what you're getting into? Those killers never leave any witnesses, you know.
Earp, just like you, I figure these killers are in our camp. And to me, that's worse than if some Yankee were taking us. It's like treason. You want to get your bare hands on snakes like them.
Okay, Callahan, you got the job. Let me give you a warning. Don't tell anybody about this.
I won't.
I mean that. You understand?
Sure do. I really do.
Seven wins.
Seven again. Well, I guess I win again.
It's your night, Jeff. It sure ain't mine.
I'm making no apology, Shorty. It's been a long time coming.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Feel kind of sorry for that cowhand. Came in here in his first drive this spring and almost broke the bank. Been trying to repeat it ever since. Beats me, though, where he catches the money to keep trying. Evening, Wyatt.
Mr. Rupp. You all set?
Yeah. He'll be cashing in soon. When he does, he'll be paid off with the marked money.
You win again.
Well, that's it, dealer. I think I'll quit while I'm still ahead.
Your lucky night.
Big winners, huh?
You bet. Those are not all the chips he's cashed.
That's what you get for being lucky.
Wyatt. I'm just lending this money in the interest of clean government. I expect it back.
I'll do what I can, Mr. Rupp.
Well, what if things go wrong?
You mean if the robbers do get away with it?
Yeah, who's going to pay?
Oh. Guess I'll just have to spend about 5 summers working it out.
Thank you, cashier. Thank you very much. Come on, boys, step up to the bar. Name it.
Come on.
Come on, let's have a drink whenever you want. My money. How about a drink, Mr. Rupp?
Oh, thanks.
Come on, now let's have everybody.
Shorty?
Yeah?
You lose all the money tonight?
Difference does it make? We'll have some more pretty soon.
Thinking of all the money we'd have if you wasn't gambling all the time.
Shh. Here comes somebody.
How do we know Jeff's gonna be alone? Maybe we should have robbed that one.
Because he wasn't with his bunch tonight. He was by himself. Chances are he'll ride back to camp by himself. You got something better to do, maybe?
I didn't mean nothing, Shorty. Stop picking on me.
And stop being at me. That looks like him. Well, we're going to make sure. Get off your horse. Why? Get off! Sam, you stay here and keep him covered. That's you, Jeff?
Who is it?
Shorty Dawson.
In trouble?
Simp's horse. He's got the colic or something. You know anything about sick animals?
Not much.
All right, get your hands high and away from your gun. Simp! Get his gun. Okay, Simp, get him off the road. Get over there! Here! Sorry to trick you, Jeff, but we mean business.
Yeah, I see you do.
Get down. All right. Put that money in these saddlebags.
I've seen some pretty low humans in my time, Shorty, but this beats them all.
Yeah, it takes all kinds, don't it, Jeff? Search him, Semp. Make sure he didn't miss anything.
Ain't nothing left.
Semp here is always wanting to be a gunman with a big reputation. Only he ain't fast enough. But he gets a big boot out of pretending he is. With me, it's different. I don't like killing. It's all yours, Semp. See you up the road. One again, eh, Semp?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, right through the head.
You're improving. Well, let's get along.
I knew it. That other fellow heard the shooting.
All right, get off of the road and head for camp.
Hey, yeah.
Boys, left the trail here. Did you find Jeff?
Never seen it.
Oh, you check the trail up there. I'll get into this. Come on.
Glad to see you alive and kicking, Jeff.
How bad is it? All he lost was some hair. The bullet knocked him out.
Well, the one I was after stopped running and played it smart. I figured I'd better check with you and then take up the trail first thing come daylight.
Well, you won't have to look very far. Shorty Dawson and Sim Sheldon. If they think I'm dead, they'll be back in camp with their outfit same as usual in the morning.
Now, come on, we'll get you back to town and get a fresh start tomorrow.
When this outfit moves, me and Semp are going to move with it. Month's enough time to see the sights of Wichita and lose all your dough.
Yeah. Hey, who's that? I don't know. Middle one looks like Jeff Burns.
Sure does.
It is Jeff.
Hey, it is Jeff. Who's that other guy?
There they are, those two. Shorty and Sim. You, take their guns. They're under arrest. Those two robbed me last night and shot me up. They're the ones who've been knocking us cowboys off for the last month.
You're hard to convince. Take a look in Shorty's saddlebag. The money he stole is marked in the corners with Whitey Rupp's initials.
He's right. There's a WR marked in the corner.
Now take the guns like I told you.
Sure beats all, don't it, boys? Harboring rattlers right under our own blankets? Why, even a coyote don't hunt its own kind.
That'll do, Jeff. We come here to arrest him, not talk him to death. If the prisoners wouldn't mind, climb on your horses and we'll head back to town.
They're our game, Wyatt. You're not gonna have them. You know how I feel.
You'll have to swallow your feelings, Jeff. I'm taking them in. Get on those horses. Jimmy, start herding them back to town.
All right, hold it.
I think you know better than to make any gunplay, Jeff.
But it's not because I'm afraid of you. It's because you're here as kind of a friend. And this cow camp, rough as it is home. And nobody likes to mess up his home with dead visitors.
I appreciate your hospitality, Jeff.
Come on, get him going.
Herb, it's only fair to warn you. As soon as word gets around to the other camps about this, there won't be a jail big enough to hold them two. And we'll be coming in to get them.
I hope you don't. All there?
Oh, every dollar, Wyatt. I'm telling you, sir, every businessman in town ought to be grateful for what you've done.
Wyatt? The cowhands are gathering on the creek like they're fixing to raid the town.
Huh? Mr. Rupp, do you mind if I use your place for a meeting?
Meeting? What for?
I want to find out just how grateful you businessmen will be when I ask you to start shooting your best customers.
Well, what's up? What do you mean?
Thanks. Knew you wouldn't mind.
A meeting? Now, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Not just yet, gents. There's a meeting going on inside.
I don't see why we should run headlong into trouble. By your own admission, these criminals were caught red-handed. So let the cowhands have them. Above all, we don't want to bite the hand that feeds us.
Much as this town needs the cowhands' business, Wyatt's right. We can't let them put this over on us.
Look, when I first took this job, you offered me a posse, and I turned it down. Now, I need a show of force, and I'm asking for it. Do I get it or don't I?
You know where I stand, Wyatt.
Me too. And I sure have a lot to lose.
How about you? How about the rest of the businessmen?
They're not here. I suppose that means they're on the fence.
Well, if I don't get enough men, I'll go out there alone. And gentlemen, if I do that, I'm through. I'll either resign or I'll be dead.
Which in either event will leave us entirely to the mercy of the mob. Is that what you men want? Then I'll close my newspaper as of now. The one record I'll never print is the day that Wichita turned yellow.
Now, just a minute, Murdoch. I didn't exactly say I wouldn't. Well, what are we waiting for? Come on, let's go talk to the rest of the businessmen.
Well, at least now we'll get an answer.
Hi, boys. Welcome to Wichita.
Stand aside, Wyatt. You know what we're here for.
Sure, I know what you're here for. You're here to have fun. That's exactly what you're going to get, Jeff. Any way you want it. And they're all your friends ready to give it to you. The merchants, restaurant owners, saloon keepers. Each of them with just one aim in life, and that's to give you gents anything you want. So it's up to you, Jeff. You and your friends.
What do you mean it's up to us?
Whether you come into town with guns or without them. If you want to come with them, you have to come shooting. Today you got a choice.
We didn't figure the whole town would turn on us, Jeff. This is different.
You heard the marshal. How do you vote?
No use running head on into a militia. Them two robbers just ain't worth the risk.
Everybody feel the same way?
Yeah! Come on, fellows, let's have fun.
Where do you want us to leave the guns, Wyatt?
Just drop your belts in the street, Jeff. You can pick them up at the Texas house on the way out of town. Come on, boys, give me a hand. After what just blew past, street cleaning's gonna look like nice, pleasant work.
You're so right.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail.
Oh, Wyatt Earp, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be